Hello. Oh. Hello. This is gonna keep spinning, isn't it? Welcome to this video, everybody. Today I'm just going to be talking about the YouTube channels that I like to watch in my spare time. I've just got some easy watching YouTube channels and videos, and I've also got informative, like educational videos that are still fun though and really like interesting. I'm just going to describe each channel and the personalities and give you a recommended video. So that valuable time that you've got isn't wasted watching rubbish TV. It's TV that's good for the soul. Watching, not TV. Well, YouTube, yeah, I guess it's TV. By the way, this is not my room. It looks cool, doesn't it, really? Let's be fair. And I've surfed a couple of times, but I'd like to get into surfing, but you know, living in rural England, it's kind of hard. So that's not my surfboard. None of this is mine, apart from this. And this. First we're going to do fun, easy to watch YouTubers, so the kind of escapism watching. And to start off with, we've got Sofia and Chincia. They are two girls who I think are from Nottingham, and they just have so much banter. Like, it's just those two doing so many different things. They're very girly, very into makeup and clothing and fashion, and they like Coachella, all that kind of vibe. But it's the thing that appeals to me is their chemistry is amazing. They're so funny and comfortable and at ease with each other. They're more like sisters than best friends, and they're just so fun to watch. Like, it's the friendship that you've always wanted. It's relatable friendship. I don't want to say that they clash, but they're always together, so it's really interesting to see how their friendship's grown as well. But my favourite videos of theirs are actually the earlier ones when they get ready together to go on nights out. I think they did one recently that my friend said they were pretending they were going out. So they were getting ready and drinking and stuff, but obviously because of the pandemic they weren't actually going out. There's a dog here, by the way. If you hear any panting, it's not me, it's the dog. And she just brought up her, just had soup, and I really hope I don't have anything in between my teeth. This was a spare of the moment. Okay, I'm going to film it now. I was going to film it in a few days, but she has brought me, let's see if I can show you, this. Do you want it? There you go. Okay, I really hope it's like, oh, she's just turned the camera with her tail. Let me turn you back. I quite like it with that in. Well done, Luna. Clever girl, you made it look pretty. Wait, she's quite scared of the guitar. Oh, baby girl. She gets so nervous. Yeah, I really like their early get ready with me videos because all their videos are authentic, but they're just young and silly. They still are as well, but there's just, yeah, they're extra young and silly when in the early videos. Do you mind? Sorry about the squeaking. Can't really tell, but I think I look quite pale in this. I always choose to film with the most unflattering lighting. Like, I don't know if you've seen, but last week's video I do a walk and talk with me, and I was so spotty. I don't know about you guys, but when I get stressed, my spots just come through into full force, and it's just awful. Anyway, yeah, they're early videos when they have a little bit to drink and they just talk about girl stuff. Sorry about that if that's really annoying. Hopefully it will stop. Luna! Stop it. No, she looked at me as she did that one. I'm gonna have to pause this a second because both dogs are up here now. Okay, I am back. So they're kind of just unfiltered girl personalities. Very fun. They like to go out a lot and yeah, go clubbing. Very British. I do still watch them now, but I still watch like their old videos. Their old get ready with me, when they just drink and talk about boys, and they're very silly, but in a really lovable way. And they actually more recently have got a bit deeper with their videos. They have like really nice quotes that they like to read out to fill you with positivity, and yeah, they're just very positive girls, very fun, very easy watching, very easy. I think they've done a podcast as well called The Girls' Bathroom, which I think I listened to actually when I was on holiday. Not too bad, give it a go. The next YouTuber that I just love so much is Cartier Milan. I'm going to put a link in the description for all of them as well, so you can go and have a look, because I'd love to hear like your feedback. If you enjoy watching me, then you'll probably enjoy watching them, because I find that I watch YouTubers that I find somehow relatable in some way, all in different ways. I watch such a variety. Oh my gosh, they vary so much. Some of them are just so like escapist and easy, and like they just don't involve any thinking whatsoever. And then some of mine are very like deep and like spiritual, or very like, what is the meaning of life? Because I just love that stuff. But yeah, rambled again. Cartier Milan is an Australian YouTuber who lives on the Gold Coast, so everything is beautiful in that vlog, including her. She's so pretty. Her Instagram is awesome as well. I just love her fashion sense. It's very cool, very colourful. I'm really liking rainbows and just very colourful vibes at the moment. She videos a lot, she does a lot of vlogs, but her videos are just so good because she's often in the sun, on the beach, or always seems to be living like the lovely life. She's spoken a lot about her breakup recently. She had a breakup like I think like a year ago or something. But she talks about that in her videos, so she's very real, and like, I think she even videos herself, not crying, but after crying. So she's very real, but she's also lives such a nice life, and it's so fun and positive for like the majority of the time. And yeah, it's just the sun. I love watching vlogs where it's really sunny, and just watching YouTubers who live in sunny places. You know, I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here because of the flu situation. They had to do I'm a Celebrity in Wales rather than in Australia. I find personally, I don't know if it was a common consensus, but it was so much better when it was filmed in Australia because of the sun. I didn't want to see people in a dark, dingy castle. To be honest, with I'm a Celebrity, I find it a bit weird because I feel so sorry for the animals on that show, and I know I actually got a record amount of complaints about that, but when I used to enjoy it, I don't think it doesn't fit my view of what's right anymore. But when I used to enjoy it, I enjoyed it because of the sun. So in a long-winded way, I basically said, watch her vlogs if you enjoy to see the sun. Hell, I'm giving myself a headache explaining that. You see her close friendship with her mum, which is so nice. I'm really close with my mum, so I find that super relatable. She's got really cool friends, just so well edited. Her graphics, all the words that come onto the screen, they're so cool. They're so like, her aesthetic is so pleasing. Her visuals, I love it. All the colours, her montages, her music. The music in the background's really cool. But yeah, her videos are just really warm and happy and such a good vibration, and she has a fun side and she gets very deep sometimes as well, and she gives you just a good vibe. Yeah, and she's Australian, so she's got a sick accent. You're probably living under a rock if you don't know who this person is. Zoella. I wasn't going to include Zoella because pretty much everyone knows her, and I'm sure she's had so many shout outs over the years. I did media at University of Liverpool. Even in my course she was mentioned. They just mentioned YouTube and she was like the example YouTuber. So yeah, she's very well known. Even the oldies know her. My tootsies. Sorry, that was so random. Oh, I just love this chair, it's so cozy. The reason I'm putting Zoella on this list is because she is the best form of escapism for me. She really embraces like the festivities, so Christmas, Halloween, she goes all out for that, and she's very fun, bubbly, mumsy in a really comforting way, and relatable for me because she's, I think she's actually from near where I live. My brother always says that my voice is a lot like hers. So sometimes when I'll be watching her vlogs, he'll be like, what? I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. But yeah, she's just really fun and relatable and loves cooking, and I mean, she's not vegan. She does buy some sustainable products every now and then, but she's not particularly concerned about that, which is a big concern to me. But she's just so fun, and you can tell she's a proper, genuinely nice person. And she talks about anxiety a lot, which I struggle with. So it's a good like mixture of everything, of fun, escapism, and serious topics that you kind of want to hear every now and then. A lot of her friends and family vlog too. So they've almost become like a little bit like, not like the Kardashians really, but I feel like I know all the members of the family and her dog and her boyfriend, and yeah, she's just really fun. The last YouTube channel does an array of videos. This particular series done by Jubilee is called Versus. It's just really easy to watch, and it's so good to watch with a group of people. It always strikes up such a good conversation. I'm not for like rating people's attractiveness, and I'm not a shallow person, but the channel is almost like taking the mickey out of that, and the people that go on it, like they expect it, so it's not like demoralizing. Some of the videos, there'll be like 10 women versus 1 man, and the man will rate them from least attractive to most attractive and explain it. And then they do vice versa as well. They just do so many things, and like they do like speed dating ones. So it's basically, it strikes conversations about who you're attracted to, your type on paper, just all the things that humans love talking about, like kind of chemistry and your type. And it's so good to watch with people. Like, I was watching it the other day with my boyfriend, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, like to look at visually in a shallow way, he's just not my type, I wouldn't go for him. It just strikes up really like funny, easy conversations, and we all love talking about sex, relationships, and no one can deny it. No, I'm joking. So the recommended video for that particular one is the 10 versus 1 speed dating, 10 guys without seeing them. There's a girl who's hidden, like a line of guys come up and they speak to her and they can't see her because there's like a barrier, well not a barrier, like a curtain. And they all speed date her, and she like eliminates them until she comes to one person, and then they should go on a date. But in this particular one, spoiler alert, and it's quite awkward and it's quite funny because like even the people behind the camera are like, what? It's so good, you should watch that one. Now on to the educational or informative channels or YouTubers. Okay, I'm not putting in any other vegan people. Earthling Ed is a legend. He's so good. He's so good. He's the reason why I got so confident so quickly in talking about veganism. When people insult veganism, I think of Earthling Ed and all his comebacks that he kind of offers. He's so intellectual and articulate, and he just puts a point together so beautifully. I just don't even understand. But his YouTube channel, he just basically does a lot of debates, a lot of speeches about veganism, and he's particularly concerned about the animal cruelty, the animal side basically, and that's kind of why he went vegan, for the animals, which I did as well, so it's relatable for me, and I just find his points very interesting. But vegan or non-vegan, you should watch him because he's so interesting, and you get to see debates from some very articulate non-vegans as well. I mean, he usually comes out on top. I don't think I've ever seen one where he's been put to shame. He's very good, very good. But my recommended one is one with a guy who has a bit more comprehensive argument. So the meat eater decides to challenge vegan activists. That's one video, but it's part of like a series of like debate a vegan. So he goes to like universities, Ivy League universities, a lot of them are in America, even though he's British. But yeah, there's like Harvard University ones, and it's just so good at arguing his point. And he does it in a really polite and considerate fashion. Like, he's so calm, he doesn't shout, he doesn't talk over people. Sometimes you want him to, like he's so good at being like, okay, they're talking, and he'll stop. And he'll be like, oh, I know you've got all the comebacks, I know you know what to say. But he's very respectful. It's sometimes frustrating because a lot of people are quite disrespectful to him. If you look on his YouTube videos, sometimes you get some really horrible comments about, you know, him being skinny, like, no wonder you're vegan, like, look at you. It's just horrible. Some really horrible people out there. It's just, he's a clearly well-educated person, and he has very, very concrete arguments. So even if you're not a vegan, you can go and look and see if you can watch one of his videos and then walk away thinking, yeah, I'm still happy eating animal products. Another video I'd recommend strongly, it's so interesting, And genuinely, like, I know I keep saying non-vegans watch as well, but this one I think you'd find interesting anyway, because he's in, I think he's in Texas in America, and he goes to like a cattle, what's it called? Cowboys Meet Vegan Protesters. Yeah, and he goes to like a big protest there, and a lot of angry Americans who are into like cattle ranching and stuff basically argue with him. He's really ballsy, like he really puts himself out there. I'm surprised that he didn't get physically hurt in the making of some of these videos, although he could have done. I've never heard him speak about it. My next informative YouTube channel to watch is, again, Jubilee, who I spoke about earlier, but the Middle Ground series of videos. So there's quite a few of these, and there's a lot of good ones. My watch later is now like filled with Middle Ground videos. So it's basically like a debate series, but they'll have two opposing sides and they'll get them to talk it out. They'll be in a big empty room with a couple of chairs, and there's usually like, is there 4 on each side or 3 on each side? I can't really remember. And they'll have their time to talk it out. Yeah, it's so interesting. They've got LGBTQIA+ versus Christians. That's one debate. They've got transgender versus traditional gender. They've got pro-vaccine versus anti-vaccine, which is very, what's the word I want to use? Prominent right now. It's not prominent that I want to use. It's very relevant. It's really relevant right now. It makes the wedge between everyone a little bit, it kind of kicks it out of the way a little bit, because you kind of get to hear people's perspectives from the opposing side. Usually, like, you'll either be one or the other, so you'll have to listen to someone who you don't agree with, but it makes you understand where they come from a little bit, and it usually won't change your opinion. I'm not anti-vaccine, but watching it and listening to what they had to say, I was like, okay, well, I can understand, and I've got a bit more faith in humanity right now. I know you're not just doing it just to be contradictory to the norm and just to be annoying, just to be just to rebel. You know, a lot of them, for the anti-vaccine one of the ladies talked about how her daughter had a vaccine and now she's got some really long-term issues, which is really horrible. So I don't know, it kind of restores your faith in humanity a little bit sometimes. However, there was one men's rights activist versus feminists. There's one guy, a sweaty, greasy bloke, and I don't even care saying that. Usually I won't insult an appearance, but he is just a vile human. He clearly just didn't see women as an equal, and it's revolting. Like, he's just really unnervingly confident and stuck up. Not even stuck up, he's unnervingly like slimy. That one's actually my recommended one. He's just such a dodgy bloke, like he just makes some really off comments. He's very traditional, he says a lot of the time. It's basically sexist. And he's just always saying that, you know, I think we should go back to the old days, you know, the glorious old days when, you know, women were cooking the kitchen and us men were making the money, and oh, vile. And then I think someone asked him, like, so what about your mother or your like sister? Do you not have any women that you think deserve more than that? He's like really smiley. It's really like almost sadistic. It's like more of an open discussion, but sometimes it does turn into a bit of like a debate. There's fathers versus daughters, pro-social media versus anti-social media, Instagram models versus runway models, open relationship versus monogamous. And I've actually talked about that in my last video when I was on my walk, which I found so interesting. They were talking about polyamory and open relationships, and it completely like opened my eyes, because I think in a lot of like shows and the media, people who are in open relationships or polyamorous are portrayed as like, you know, just crazily sex obsessed individuals that just don't quit. I think it's really important to always listen to what the opposing side to your opinion have to say before you solidify your opinions. And I'm always in a position where I'm ready to, I've got strong opinions, but I'm very malleable, because I think we should always be learning, and we can never get to a point where we are the epitome of knowledge, where we know everything. And that's why I really like to watch these videos. And as I said in my last video, I think it's people that are confident in their own choices, in their own lifestyle, in their own beliefs, and how they live their life, that are usually okay with watching videos like this. I think people are put against each other a lot in the media. There's always this kind of someone versus someone, Conservatives versus Labour, vegans versus non-vegans, and I don't like that because we live in a very hostile world as it is. Please don't make it worse, you know. I think we can all relate, we're all human, we all want to be loved, and we all sleep and we all eat. The media, in some ways it's very positive, but in some ways it's not, because it puts people against each other, it boxes people up into groups, and I just don't like that, which is why middle ground is very good, because it gets these stereotypes and these, you know, polar opposites that are portrayed as, you know, hating each other in the media, and it sits them in a room and they get to talk it out, and they have a lot in common, and there's a lot of understanding, and I think it's great. The recommended video is the men's rights versus feminists video. That one's just a bit shocking in some ways, and I know we like to watch a bit of. Okay, the last is TED Talks. They are basically kind of almost like, they're not motivational speeches, but they are speeches that talk about someone's like life story, or someone's move to do something big and make a big change, or something that was really horrible that happened to them, but how they learned from that. So it's usually quite positive and upbeat, and there's like an overall good message. Their slogan I found online is ideas worth spreading, and I agree actually. I've never watched one and thought, oh, what a little rubbish. Like they're just so inspirational. I love moisturising and doing my morning routine whilst I listen to a TED Talk. They do a podcast as well, which is also really good, but I prefer the video because I get to see the person, and yeah, it's just, it has more of an impact on me if I get to watch their like body language, because you can see a lot of them are very passionate about the particular cause they decide to talk about. The causes that are talked about vary so much. They're led by a range of people, like a lot of celebrities, a lot of models, activists. There was one woman who had kind of escaped a cult. I've only just thought of it now. I should have put it as my recommended video, but just type in like TED Talk woman cult and I'm sure it will come up. And it's so shocking, but it's just crazy what people are born into. But the video that has always stuck with me, I think is my top video, my top recommended video, is by Raphael from Jane the Virgin. If you haven't seen Jane the Virgin, go onto Netflix and watch it because it's so good. It's so like comforting, and so yes, it's by that actor. His name is Justin Bandoloni. The video is called Why I'm Done Being a Man. Because I so rarely hear men outspokenly talking about being an ally for women and feminists, and just like really exposing vulnerability, it really hit home. I was just like, wow, you are a strong man. Because he talks about, you know, men not being able to cry, and this toxic masculinity that not only hinders men but then ends up hindering women. He draws some really insightful points, and he talks about his relationship with his dad. He gets emotional in it too, and he talks about how, you know, men owe a lot to women and that they need to step up. I keep saying we as if I'm a man. I'm not. Yeah, he's just such a lovely guy. He does talk about like being emotional and how that's okay. He talks in it about how he was talking over his wife a lot. Men are taught that their voice is like more important than women's. Women need to be listened to more. That's something that he's sorry for. So he's just, yeah, great guy. But yeah, they just get some really inspirational people on there. What would you talk about if you had a TED Talk? If you had a stage to yourself where you could just talk about a cause of your interest that's personal to you, and what overall message would you want to deliver to your audience? That's the end of this video. I really hope you're all doing well, and I might just have a little nap on this chair now. I do videos every Friday. Usually there's kind of a vegan focus or a feminist focus, or like a relationships, people dynamics, society, philosophical focus. On Wednesday I do meditations. They do vary every week. I've done one on body image, I've done one on guilt. I've done one for beginners. Please like, share, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Well, lots of love, everybody. Keep doing you, keep smiling, don't panic. You've got a wonderful world still, and if you want that for your kids and your grandkids, go. Bye!